Hey YouTube, welcome to Walker Bee Ranch. It's been a hectic year. I just wanted to share a couple things that's going on. I'm trying to make this quick video, 10 minutes or less probably. My last video about the small hive beetles, I lost a bunch of hives. I lost 5 hives, which put me back to 4. Then I bought 3 late season nukes from a fella, and also moved all my hives, and I'm back to 9. I'm at 9 hives again. Bought some Saskatraz queens from Oliveira's honeybees out in California. They were here the next day, and so right now a couple hives are weak, but they're laying and working on it, and I'm still struggling with the beetles, but I've got guardians on all of them. But anyway, we'll get into that, and I'll show you some things that are happening in my bee yard today. All right, so one of the things that's happening in the bee yard today on August 8th, 2020, I made a tube pollen substitute feeder. Go back and check that video. I'll try to link it up there. Try to. But it was just a PVC pipe with a 45-degree elbow and a Fernco cap on one end. They found it. Started finding it yesterday, but today they're really kind of hitting this little tube feeder, and let me show it to you. So that's, took the cap off one end so they could get at it from both sides. And when I came out this morning, they were really, there was a lot of bees coming into one of my hives. All the girls had pollen on them. So, and she was the only hive that found it, I guess. I don't know. This morning, because I noticed a few bees coming back with pollen, but not like that. And they fly in this end. I just opened both sides up so it's easy access. I had a little bit of robbing going on. A little bit of robbing was happening, so I threw out a pan a little bit away from my hives to try to draw them away from it, and put the last of what I had in the bucket. So there's my little heart-shaped cake pan my wife don't use anymore. I just put some cedar chips in there and some syrup, and they're going to town because we are in dearth. And effectively, the idea was to just pull them away from my hives. I did put some feed directly on my hives to try to give my hives a little bit of a chance, because like I said, they were getting beat down by hive beetles, so they were weak, and they're starting to come back. My Saskatraz queens have been in there for about a week and a half, and they're doing pretty good. They started laying like I think on day 2 day 2 or 3 in the hive. But I put on some Ceracell feeders, and I don't know, they're not drinking that down very fast like I thought they would, especially the bigger hives. Like this one, there's syrup in it, but if I open it up, the bees will like immediately be on it, pretty much. So there's still some syrup in there. That dead bee you guys probably saw in there was a bee that was not one of my bees. Well, it might have been one of my bees, but when I opened it up the other day, it just flew in. And this hive right here, I actually made a fatal error for several bees. That's just water from the rain. And what happened was the inner cover, let me get it, this inner cover right here, I had stuck to the inside of my lid. And if you see that, it's got a hole to and upper entrance, vent hole, whatever you want to call it. And I didn't realize it was stuck in there, and a bunch of robber bees got drowned out, and there's still a bunch floating in there because they haven't drank down the syrup, and I don't want to open it up for the robbers. I'll show you guys. Take this ring off. You ready? Quick peek. And right away with the bees going in. So every time if I crack it, they go right in and suicide themselves on the syrup. So I can't really do that. My smaller hives, these nukes, I just got my old little Tupperware in there, little piece of patty I made. The patties that I made were a little bit thicker than the first ones I made. I basically made bee biscuits, like I just kept adding pollen until it was flaky and coming off the sides. So we're still in the game, guys. We're still in the beekeeping game. It hasn't been a glorious year to where all my hives just explode and do great. Not getting any honey. No need at this point. Just let them keep what they got, and as long as the beetles can keep off of them, off the syrup, which I've been doing a little bit of equalizing, not so much in brood, because if the hive beetles get behind the brood, they'll pull all that brood out and kill it all. And then I think it's my hypothesis that they assume the queen is no good because the brood is bad, and then they dispatch her themselves. That's been my thought process behind that. Could be totally wrong. It's just kind of where I've been thinking about it. So I've been just shaking like nurse bees out of my bigger hives to help cover the frames and build wax, and allow the older bees to start foraging to help bring in, because when I first did the splits, there was like no foragers. They were just, it was just looked like it was dead from the outside, but there would be bees on the inside with the queen. So they just didn't have enough people or resources or food or anything. So that's what I've been trying to do. You know, like Cayman Reynolds says, try to give them good nutrition and let them go. And so that's what I've done. And right now we're on the rebound. I'm trying to get them strong before winter. These bigger hives, in maybe next week or so, maybe I'll pull some brood out of there after this cycle hatches, because they've got a lot of brood in there. But I don't want to diminish their numbers to help these weak colonies right now. So if you guys have any thoughts and comments on that, please leave them below in the description. And that's about it. That's what we got going on. I had to move everything from the back of the house to the side of the house. Got a couple open feeders, got my pollen tube, which they really started hitting hard today on the 8th of August. So give it a shot if you've got some pollen sub and you've got an old piece of pipe, and buy a couple little fittings and let them go. I think that's a 4-inch pipe that I've got, just a small section of it, a cap on one end and a 45-degree on the other end, so the bees can get in it, and put pollen sub in it and let them rock it out. They'll take it back to your hives. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll try to make videos on a more consistent basis. And especially, it's been a lot of struggles. I don't always like to do those videos because not only are it's hard. I mean, I like that people learn from my mistakes or downfalls or whatever. But it's hard to stay positive in that video, and make a good video about, oh my gosh, I just lost, $500 worth of bees or $1,000 worth of bees. And I bought so much equipment at the beginning of the year that I haven't even touched. I would have totally done it differently, but maybe I'll do a video on how I would have done it differently. So, all right guys, have a great day, great weekend, and we'll see you guys later from 95+ degree heat here in Hopkins, South Carolina. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.